Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live stream. Today, I will be sharing the different types of scholarships available for students in the US. So don't go anywhere as we talk about this very informative, very important information that is going to help you understand the college admissions and scholarship process in a deeper level. Because a lot of people think that the only way to get scholarships in the United States is by filling out the FAFSA. And we have to know that and understand that there's different forms of financial aid and scholarships available for students here in the US. There is different sources, different ways to apply for it, different ways to qualify for all these different types of aid and scholarships. So definitely stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for this very informative live session. And as you're joining us, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know whether you are a parent or a student watching us today. I'm very interesting to see the type of audience we have with us today. So yeah, say hi in the chat. We usually get a lot of parents, but I'm interested to see if we have any students joining us, and we can get started with today's topic, which is types of scholarships available in the US and how to apply for them, how to maximize your odds of winning these scholarships. Alrighty. So I see that Miss Lily is saying parent in MD. Thank you so much for joining us. I also see Arena saying that they are joining us from California, Ventura, California. It's a parent as well. Candy is joining us as a parent and a student. So it's a parent and student watching from New Jersey. Awesome. And we have Kurishi saying, is med school more expensive than regular college? Great question. This is a good question. Before we get started, as we wait for more people to join, remember, if you want to be a doctor in the United States, college and university, in order to go to med school, students have to first go to college to get a undergraduate degree, a bachelor's degree. So that's going to be the 4 years of college, and then you apply to med school. So that is after. So it's different, right? You can't just go directly from high school to med school. And there's other requirements like taking the MCAT and all those things. But yes, first you have to get an undergraduate degree, right? Preferably in some sort of field. It doesn't necessarily have to be completely direct, related, but there has to be some courses and things that student has to fulfill to apply to med school. That is a great question. I also see that Sachi saying that they are as a parent joining us from New York. Thank you for joining. And Nika Dura, oh my God, is also joining from New York. Awesome. The letters are so small, so I'm having a hard time reading your comments. But I also have a parent, Sharon from San Diego. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Today we are talking about scholarships. We are talking financial aid. So I hope that you enjoy today's topic because it's going to be very helpful. We're currently in summertime, which means a lot of free time for students, right? But remember, as we've mentioned in the past few shows, students, especially my incoming seniors, if you have kids who are about to start 12th grade, you should be taking advantage of the summer. They should be applying for scholarships, applying for college. If we're talking incoming seniors, we want them filling out those college applications. If they know where they're going to be applying to, if we know which colleges they are sending their applications to, whether they use a common application, maybe the college uses its own portal, whatever the case may be. If the student already has that essay prompt, definitely start writing those essays. Students who maybe are not seniors, who are ninth graders, 10th graders, or even middle school, there's other things that should be happening over the summer to maximize those odds of getting into college with scholarships, okay? So just wanted to give that quick little advice, and I guess since it's relevant, since it's the summertime, I just wanted to remind everybody that yes, it's vacation. Of course, take some time off, take some time to relax, but also take advantage of the summer and get ahead of college application, get ahead of summer readings if your student's high school requires some summer work, and make sure that you are kind of like checking those boxes of things that could be done over the summer, since there's more time to maybe volunteer, more time to do extracurriculars, have a part-time job, things that are going to make your students' college application pop more, right? And that is going to, when it's time to apply to college, having a list and having all these things that were done in that free time that can make college admissions officers go like, okay, this student is driven and took advantage of summer and was not just, not doing anything. So it's really important to be proactive, right? Alrighty, perfect. So let's talk scholarships. Let's talk financial aid, because it is a topic that we've gotten a lot of questions on, and I will also be sharing some free resources later. So make sure to stick around for that. So let's talk scholarships. Let's talk financial aid. What are the types of scholarships available for students in the U.S.? A lot of people, like I said earlier, they make the wrong assumption of, the only type of scholarship, the only type of aid available for students in the U.S. is through the FAFSA. It's federal aid. And if the student doesn't get any federal aid because of, maybe their family makes too much money, or they have their only child, both parents work, whatever the case may be, they think, okay, there's no scholarships available. Remember, the FAFSA is just one out of 4 different sources of financial aid. It's federal government, which, you have to fill out the FAFSA to get. There's state aid and scholarships. There is institutional aid and scholarships, which I will dive a little bit deeper into institutional aid and scholarships, because those are the, students can get the most awards, the most money in their financial aid and scholarship package. A lot of, if not most of our students have, most of their aid comes from institutional aid. So it's important to keep that in mind. And so institutional aid, federal aid, state aid, and the fourth one is private aid and scholarships. These are private scholarships are awarded by private sources like individuals, organizations, businesses, churches, religious groups. They can have private scholarships available for students. So those are private scholarships. And well, the thing about private scholarships, the cool thing is that students don't have to wait until senior year to apply for private scholarships. They could be applying as early as middle school. Of course, in middle school, the scholarship opportunities for private scholarships are going to be a little bit more limited, but there are still opportunities out there. 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th graders can be applying for private scholarships. There is scholarships available. As a matter of fact, we have a student who contacted us, one of our clients contacted us last week. He is going to be starting 10th grade. So he was a 9th grade student this past school year, and he just won a private scholarship for an essay writing competition, which pretty cool. He's already going into his second year of high school with some money on his the award is going to be sent to the school that he applies to and that he gets into, but he already has, I think it was $2,500 that he's going to be using eventually when he goes to college in private aid and scholarships. So very motivating, and he was really happy. And so yeah, it's cool to know, okay, whatever I go, I already have X amount of money. That's why we always encourage students to be applying for those private scholarship opportunities as early as possible, right? Of course, there is a whole strategy. There's a whole process of looking for and applying to private scholarships, but if done right, students can find great opportunities. So important that you're on the lookout for private scholarships and that you use the right resources, right tools to find private scholarships that your student qualifies for, and maybe private scholarship programs that are not as competitive, because that's another thing. A lot of students make the mistake when it comes to private scholarships of applying to very, very competitive scholarship award programs, private scholarships, which can be great. A lot of these really popular private scholarship programs, like, I don't know, the Coca-Cola Foundation Scholarship, Bill and Melinda Gates, Comcast, all these scholarship competitions, the award tends to be bigger, right? Some of them are full ride scholarships. Some of them are $50,000, $20,000. But since their award is bigger, more students are applying for it. The chances, since there's more people applying, are lower. So you want to be applying to maybe less popular, smaller awards, scholarships, but things that maybe not a lot of people know about, more niche scholarships, and maximizing those odds of winning some money for college. Alrighty, so we do have a free resource in the link in my bio where we talk about private scholarships. In fact, all the types of scholarships, and this free resource is a presentation. It's called The 6 Secrets to Go to College with Scholarships. We have a lot of information regarding financial aid and scholarships, SAT and ACT scores, creating a list of colleges, something that is going to be very beneficial. So if you want to check that out, the link is in my bio if you're watching us on Instagram. And if you happen to be watching on YouTube and Facebook, you can check out this video's description and you will find this free resource that we have for you so that you can learn more information that can be helpful for you. Okay. So I just wanted to share that. All right. So we already talked we talked private scholarships. Federal aid awarded by the federal government, the FAFSA, has to be, in order to have an opportunity or a chance to get federal aid, students have to fill out the FAFSA. And if the student doesn't qualify for FAFSA because of their citizenship status, because in order to receive money from the federal government or to even fill out the FAFSA, students have to be a citizen of the United States, resident, or an eligible non-U.S. citizen. So if the student does not meet those requirements, they cannot fill the FAFSA. But remember, as I already mentioned, there's other sources of financial aid and scholarships: private scholarships, state scholarships, institutional scholarships. And when for students who do qualify for the FAFSA to fill it out because they are citizens or residents or eligible non-U.S. citizens, and maybe your student, for some reason, you don't get any money from the FAFSA, federal money for federal aid, remember that a lot of schools, some state programs, and even some private scholarships still require that those students who do qualify for it require the FAFSA. So it's important to still fill it out, especially for institutional aid, because colleges, in order to award need-based aid, they will need that FAFSA. All right, so it's important to fill it out regardless, right? You don't want to wait too long. You don't want to forget it and then not be able to receive institutional aid, which institutional aid, let's talk about it. As the name suggests, institution aid. This is money that's awarded to students by the colleges or universities that they are accepted to and that they, end up going to, right? So, they could still receive institutional aid from schools that they are accepted to. But ultimately, students have to decide what the best financial aid, what the best scholarship package is for them. So, if students, let's say they apply to a school like the University of Florida, and they fill out the FAFSA, and they're also athletes, right? And they were recruited, and they are trying to, be part of the swim team, and they go through the recruitment process. They get recruited and they get asked to join the swim team with a scholarship. They get awarded a scholarship for them to be swimmers in that school and represent the swim team. That scholarship that the student receive is an institutional scholarship, institutional aid, all right? And it's based on merit. Institutional aid and scholarships can be merit-based, so sports, arts, leadership, maybe more academic programs like debate, like math, the mathletes, the engineering club, robotics, things like that. Some schools do offer scholarships for students who want to continue to do that in college. So those would all be, if the money is coming from the school, that is institutional aid. When I was in high school and applying to college, when creating my list of colleges, my extracurricular activity, the thing that I practiced all 4 years of high school, was theater. So I fell in love with theater. And when I was creating my list of colleges and when I was applying to colleges, I knew that I wanted to continue to do theater in college. So most of the schools on my list were schools that had an opportunity for me to audition for a scholarship at that school. Once I got accepted, I went to Marist and applied for their theater scholarship. I had to send in an audition and my resume, all those things, and received a theater scholarship, an $8,000 scholarship awarded by the school for me to continue to do theater as a minor and to be part of the theater program. And that was an institutional scholarship, right? And the thing that helped me get that institutional scholarship was my extracurricular involvement, obviously my audition, and the fact that I was going to continue to do that in college. And I did do it for the 4 years, which was awesome. And there was a lot of planning behind it. There was a lot of strategizing, looking for schools that had these programs, reaching out, researching. So it's important that students are constantly researching and they are looking for opportunities that are going to allow them to continue to do what they love and maybe give them money for it. My brother David, another example of institutional aid and scholarships that he received by doing what he loved. He was a swimmer all through middle school, elementary school, middle school, high school. He knew that he wanted to continue to swim in college. So he went through the whole recruitment process, visited some schools. Remember, if I have some students or parents of students in the chat that might have some future student athletes, there's requirements, there's process that students and etiquette protocols that students have to follow if they want to maybe be recruited by a school. It's not just, I'm going to apply and maybe I get picked. No, they have to contact coaches. There's a timeline of when students can contact coaches, depending on the sport, depending on the school. So all those things it's important to know. As a matter of fact, since David, my brother, who's also, part of Best College Aid, and also that free resource that I'm talking about, that free training in the link in my bio that I strongly encourage you guys to watch after watching this presentation, because it's full of information. He's the one who's providing that information. For our clients inside of Best College Aid, David helps them if they're athletes. We have a whole section dedicated to the recruitment process because it is a whole process on its own, right? And there's rules, there's things that students should be doing and should do in time, that they need to follow protocol. And he's the one that's in charge of that because the money is out there for student athletes. It's all about knowing which programs are well suited for your student, depending on their level, their sports level, right? Maybe some students would be complete big stars in a Division II school. Maybe your student would be a great football star or track star in a D3 school, maybe in a D1. There's also, protocols for student athletes. D1, D2 schools have different rules, and D3, all that, scholarships, training trips, all that. But we do go over that inside of Best College Aid. So if you're also interested in acquiring the Best College Aid membership and having access to a more personalized guide and have access to online support and have access to our counseling and our personal email so that you can ask us questions and all your family can have access to Best College Aid and all the amazing benefits that our membership includes. You can do so or just learn about what we offer inside of our Best College Aid membership in the link in our bio. If you register to watch that free training, which that is free, that is a gift for you, that is free information that is going to help you and your child navigate the road to college. At the end of that, we do explain how our program works, and that is just for those who are interested in joining Best College Aid and having access to the benefits that I kind of talked about. And there's other benefits. So yeah, make sure to check it out if you are interested, because I did see a couple of people asking about that. Alrighty, so we talked institutional aid, we talked federal aid, and we talked private aid. Finally, let's talk about the last source of financial aid and scholarship available for students, and that is state aid. These are, as the name suggests, scholarships and financial aid that is offered by the state. In most cases, most programs are usually targeted for students who are residents of the state that they've lived in, or maybe if they live there. Some programs are different. Some programs will say, okay, if you've lived here for at least 2 years. Some of them will have a requirement of 6 months. Some of them will be you would have to have been born here. It really does depend on the program. Students can apply for state aid and maybe get scholarships. For example, here in Florida, we have Florida Bright Futures, which is a state program for students who are Florida residents who plan to go to school in Florida, and they do have to fulfill certain requirements, right, in order to be eligible to receive these scholarships. This Bright Future Scholarship. There's academic requirements, extracurricular requirements, and there's different tiers of this scholarship program. So it really does depend on the state program. Now, there's some state programs that students who maybe are going to be, let's say they have always been Texas residents, and then they plan to go to school in Pennsylvania. There's some state programs that students who are going to that other state. So if they were to go to school in Pennsylvania, they could maybe qualify for the state programs in Pennsylvania, even if they are out-of-state students. But again, it depends. Not every program is like that. Most of the time is for residents of people who have lived in that state and maybe plan to go to school in that state, or, it just depends on the program. And there's different requirements. Every school is different. Every state's different, but it's important to be aware of these resources because there's been times where students who are, for example, like I said, Florida Bright Futures, they are Florida residents and they have all these scholarships, but they still need a little bit more money. And they had never heard of Florida Bright Futures, or they thought they didn't qualify. They end up, checking it out and realize that they qualify for some money for some of that Florida Bright Futures scholarships. But it depends on your state again. But that is another source of financial aid and scholarships available for students. So it's important to touch base and, see all your resources, see what's available. Again, I know that this was a lot of information. I know that it was a lot of things to think about. And there's so much more that I could literally talk about. That is why we have that free resource, the free presentation, where we talk about the 6 steps to go to college with scholarships. David, he's my brother. He's also a co-founder of Best College Aid. He's the one that does that training and shares his knowledge and stuff that helped my family and I, because we all were fortunate enough to have resources that helped us go to college tuition free with full tuition scholarships. And so we take that knowledge, and then what we've been doing for the past almost 5 years with Best College Aid, how we've been helping a lot of families, hundreds of families. This past college admission cycle, we had students get accepted into great colleges: NYU, UF, the University of Texas at Austin, UCLA. We had students get accepted into Columbia University, Tulane, great schools with amazing scholarship and financial aid awards. And, in that presentation, we actually just updated it, that free resource. We updated it to the most recent tips. So it's just a free resource, something that we want put out there and give you guys so that you can learn a little bit more about the college admissions process. And for those who are interested in joining Best College Aid and having access to more personalized help, the family membership at the end of that free training in the link in my bio, or the link in this video's description if you happen to be watching on YouTube and Facebook. If you register, at the end we have just an explanation of everything that our Best College Aid membership includes, how you can join, and also a discount for having registered to that free training. So kind of like a gift for you. Alrighty. Hopefully that was insightful. Hopefully you learned a lot. And yeah, I see some comments for international students. Because we do have a lot of international students who watch us. International students are also able to receive, especially because we do have students who are international students inside of Best College Aid and clients. The best bet is going to be looking for and applying to schools. Obviously, being involved in your school, in your high school, in your country, doing extracurricular activities, being involved, getting good grades. But the key is going to be applying to schools that are generous and who have a history of awarding scholarships to international students, right? Because not every school is going to be generous with international students, but there are some great universities that have amazing programs and scholarship award packages for international students. Alrighty. Also, private scholarships is another great way to get some funding for college already. So it's all about planning and knowing where and what to look for. Alrighty, so thank you so much for a great question. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I hope you learned a lot. Don't forget to check out that free training in the link in my bio or in this video's description. And I hope to see you again. My name is Laura Cantu, and have a wonderful rest of your week.